Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can make the most out of summer with all your friends. Most of my friends happen to be four-legged.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
From the space coast of Florida to Motor City, Detroit, this is the Savaged Unfiltered Podcast with Michael and Joseph, an Anchor FM broadcast on iHeartRadio.
Down my speakers. All right.
Good. Hopefully I don't hear crickets like I heard crickets with fucking the Therapy Twins the other day, but...
Yeah. That was something else.
Hey, at least we got...
happen on occasion, though, right?
Yeah. Good thing we got 2-3 minutes out of that, so... you
say Uncut and, Uncensored, it was what it was.
Yeah, I had some good feedback on that, Joseph.
Did you?
Yeah, they thought it was very comical, very humorous. Need to say, they said we did have to, endear the first hour and a half of Robot Brian that you had in the first half, but it was all right. I called him Robot Brian. So
yeah.
So
he'll get better over time.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. He's got to develop his voice without a doubt, But I got some good feedback here. Got a hold of my friend that we had on before, Collective Cole, Nicole.
Yep.
And she's gonna try to come on Monday. She said Monday afternoon. So that should be good.
Cool.
Good stuff. Yeah. And I'm gonna kick off here with a couple announcements here, and then we're gonna bring in the woman from Australia, which I'm told that she's very excited to join us here on air. But before we get into that, I have to say thank you to Mr. Bob Lament. He was a fellow radio personality that I had on the show earlier this week from his show Static Radio. Guys, that was a pre-recorded episode that will be aired this Saturday. The reason why we're waiting for it is because I'm a podcast host that doesn't like throwing 7 fucking podcast episodes in one day. I think what it does is, I learned a long time ago, it'll clog up your panel, and people don't like that because they have to play catch up. So check out that episode, guys, this Saturday morning. It's going to be aired at around 6 a.m. Eastern. A really, really good, like almost hour conversation I had with Mr. Lament. Like I said, he's a fellow radio personality of his show, Static Radio, coming from the St. Louis area. Joseph, this show has been on air since 1999, the longest running weekly audio program on the internet.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
You were saying about there is such a thing as too much content. There's both. You can have too little, or you can have too much, like we discussed with Brian the other day and his cool thing. He learned, like you were alluding. Since his are only 5 minutes long, he thought, hey, I could put up 5 of them, and that's a half an hour.
5-minute AMs.
And he discovered, no, that's not true. People will only go and listen to one, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, even with 5 minutes, we were questioning, I'm like, do you get like listeners that actually are interested in listening to a 5-minute podcast? But
yeah, well, like I said, with today's Twitter attention span, I mean, I do vlogs on occasion on either YouTube, Rumble, Brighteon, and Vimeo. Those have to be pretty short, or you lose people. So I do agree. I did mean when I said the other day, it can be a good little niche for those who are more the Twitter, TikTok-ish kind of, it's got to be short kind of people.
And Joseph, what did you think of? Did you hear the latest here? We're waiting on our guest to join us. Excuse me. Did you hear the latest with Tulsi Gabbard leaving the Democratic Party?
Yeah, I think that's.
We just spoke about the Democrats' vice president that they chose based on identity politics. A woman who can't get out of her own way to discuss anything when she has the power, she has the ability to get things done in this country and in the world. She is a halfwit compared to other vice presidents. That's number one. You've got Tulsi Gabbard, who put her life on the line for this country, compared to the halfwit that we have as vice president, who can't even address the issue she's supposed to. Let me tell you something. I give her credit for calling out what happened with the Democratic Party, the DNC, when Bernie Sanders was edged out by Hillary Clinton, when she got the questions from what's-her-name, who said that we were criticizing her.
Savaged Unfiltered.
It's been expected by a lot of people, but all I've got to say about her can be summed up pretty quickly. I think she's a Klaus Schwab World Economic Forum student, so I've never taken it seriously. She was certainly a good, useful idiot when she was attacking fellow Democrats for me, as a Republican. Now she's just an idiot, in my opinion. I have far more respect for somebody like the Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, who switched, officially became a Republican. I don't like Tulsi. I don't trust her. Again, anybody that's part of the World Economic Forum, but I think she's doing this as an angle. She knows she could never become president by running on the Democrat ticket. So she's going to claim to be an independent and angle to be Trump's VP in 2024. And if Trump falls for this, that maybe he would help him with independents and disaffected Democrats, I would have to very seriously reconsider supporting him in 2024. I think it's a Trump Christie Nome ticket in 24, then a Nome DeSantis ticket in 2028, and then a 2036 DeSantis and whomever.
Yeah. I know it got some reaction coming from Fox's the Five with Judge Jeanine,
because she was a good Christian woman. What was her name? Donna Brazile. I mean, let's talk turkey. You want to talk turkey? Let's talk turkey. This woman, Tulsi Gabbard, she is an educated, and she is far from vindictive, spiteful, and angry. You call her those things. I have never seen the woman.
You just called the vice president a half-wit.
She is a half-wit.
No,
look at comedy shows.
Okay,
look at your own comedy shows. The Democrats.
I don't own Seth Meyers.
Look, let me tell you something. Your own party makes fun of her. Your own party runs away from her. I have never seen Tulsi Gabbard raise her voice, and she put her life on the line.
Did you see that article? She put out an article on that show where the vice president is now attacking Tulsi. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's not surprising. To say about Tulsi, since our guest is coming in, is that it was a big mistake. I didn't write an article, but I wrote extensively across all my 14 social media platforms how much it was a big mistake to allow Tulsi to speak at CPAC, and I'm upset with the Schlapp for allowing her to do that. And I think I'm being proven more and more right. Helping her angle to be Trump's VP, and that would be a disaster for the country.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in the show. But guys, I want to welcome to the show Niesha Jade, joining us from the other side of the world, so to speak. It's now Thursday morning on her side of the world, from the country of Australia. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being part of Savaged Unfiltered Podcast. welcome. How's it going over there?
Yeah, we've got a whole heap of rain going on over here, unseasonal rain. So.
Oh wow! Well, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
We're in risk
It
of
is rainy
freezing at the moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is rainy season over there, right?
Not usually. It's normally quite warm. So we're
Quite
coming
warm,
into
yeah.
summer over here now.
Yeah, Australia, you're the other hemisphere. So
Correct.
your weather is the opposite of ours. We're entering into winter. You're entering into summer, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yep. So
Yeah.
it's not usually raining now, and we're looking at floods. Most of the water banks are all overflowing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Niesha, this is Joseph. He joins us on the show here on Mondays and Wednesdays. He resides here in the States as well, from Detroit, Michigan, not too far from Canada. And it's a little cold up where he's at. Our climate is very, very similar. I live in the sunshine state of Florida, so our climate is very similar to almost Australia, just about. So I can relate to the temperature over there.
Yeah, it's sort of humid. Like I'm a bit sticky at the moment, if that makes sense. Like it's warm but wet.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I'm glad we could make this work out because I'm the author of Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You. So I've had have you heard of the podcast called Utterly Unscripted out of Australia?
No, I haven't.
No, I was on his show and another in Australia, and it can be quite an ordeal to work the time zone issues out between us.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. I work with clients all over the world, and it's so confusing. You think you've got it figured out, and no, it changes. Daylight savings or something will come into place, and it all changes.
Yeah.
Now,
I had the same issue with a show. I forget what it's called, out of South Africa.
It is a myth that terrorism stopped during COVID. Unfortunately, mainstream media opted to prioritize pandemic hysteria over promoting all news. Terrorism continues. Simply hoping that it doesn't affect you is not a strategy. The new book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, featured on The Author Show, is now available in paperback from bookstores, online, or as an ebook exclusively through Amazon Kindle. Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you, by Joseph M. Leonard. Order today.
And I landed up missing it because the time he thought it would be my time was not correct. So we had to reschedule. So those things are bound to happen on occasion.
Yeah. I always joke to people, like, because it's Wednesday for you and Thursday for me, I always joke that I am a promise that there's always tomorrow. You know, if you can't get it done today, there's always tomorrow, because here I am in tomorrow.
Well, Niesha, you're considered a time traveler to us now. I mean, you're on the next.
I'm the future. It's true.
Yeah, kind of. Not to be confused with the Tomorrowland movie, which was a horrible movie, since we're talking about tomorrow. Or skip Tomorrowland, watch Annie over again. Right, tomorrow.
I don't know if she heard of that, Niesha. Have you ever heard of what we're talking about right now, or that's more of like an American thing?
I know of Annie. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is
You may not have heard of the Tomorrowland movie, though. That was, I forget who was in that. So that may not have even played your way. It kind of flopped in the States, and for good reason. It was a horrible movie.
Did it have zombies?
No, it did not. You're thinking of another movie. Yeah, there was a Zombieland movie.
Yeah, that's what that was a comedy, I think, that one. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
That was with Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that movie was actually filmed in the state of Georgia, actually, in Valdosta. It was a really good. Yeah. But did you see? Speaking of Zombieland, have you seen the second one?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, we did reach out to your friend, Niesha, Pink Sunshine. I know you guys are friends on TikTok, so thank you very much, Pink Sunshine, for joining in.
Thank you for having me again.
Hey, hi, Pink. How are you?
Hello.
I'm good, Joseph. Hi, Niesha. Hi, Michael.
Yeah, do you see I made another suggestion since you did Who's That Girl, which I want to thank you. Appreciate that. I made another suggestion to you on Instagram, but I'm not sure you're seeing my DMs. I'm not getting any response from you. I was hoping you could do the Erase Rewind, which is an
I went to a little school called Holy Rosary Grade School across
my favorite movie of all time. For those who listened to that movies episode we did, The 13th Floor, and it has a line in the
Oh my God!
You know the difference in me's, me plural, and I thought, well, that's perfect for you too. And it doesn't make sense until you see the movie, but like with you, there's you. Then there's your alter ego. So it relates to you too. Some people know the difference in the two of you. You know, they're your different personalities.
Yeah, I like that, Joseph. Thank you. I'm not getting them. I'm going to search them when I get off. And I didn't even know we were connected on Instagram, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's
so what movie does that song come from?
The movie was The 13th Floor. It was a Matrix movie before the Matrix trilogy, based on the book called Simulacron 3, who I don't remember who wrote it, but he was like an H.G. Wells. I mean, he could see the future. He could see the day that we would have programs and games like SimCity and virtual reality. And The 13th
He's a
Floor
fucking time
is
traveler.
a movie about like that, where you literally could put on virtual reality goggles and visit the Sim City you created, but it has to do with the San Francisco past. It's my favorite movie. I recommend it to everybody see one time because it has such a wide variety. It is technically science fiction, but it has romance and drama, thriller, action, everything, and it's got Dennis Haysbert in it. You know, everybody knows from the Allstate commercials, and
hey, Joseph.
Armin Mueller-Stahl, Gretchen Mol, and
Joseph.
I'm down. I'm gonna watch it.
Joseph, man, you got to put the periods and commas at the end, but it's okay, buddy. Can he predict if? Yeah. Hey, Joseph, can he predict if this hurricane's going to miss Florida, the next one that we're supposed to be getting?
Well, yeah. I don't know about that.
Michael, are you expecting another hurricane?
Oh, shit, yeah. We're supposed to get another one.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. We're just recuperating from Ian. You know, we're still not recuperating from Ian. Tampa's a mess. Clearwater's a mess. Orlando's somewhat still underwater.
What's wrong with our world? Like, even I was talking to Niesha today, and they're like in a flood warning. Like, they can like literally go underwater right now as she's talking to us. Sorry, Niesha.
We're just a little island.
So if we hear gurgling sounds, we know what it is. It's Niesha gone underwater.
It's okay. I've got a boat.
I'll come on a boat, Niesha. I'm coming to get you.
Well, guess what? You know, our state of Florida is going to be an island too if it keeps on getting manned with hurricanes.
It's scary.
People are saying that it might be underwater in the next 100 years if we get a very, very major hurricane. I mean, all it takes right now is probably like a category, really, really strong category 5 or a strong category 6, and we're going to be underwater. You know,
yeah,
it's terrible.
It can't happen.
Well, it can't happen because, I mean, the state is beautiful. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to come to Florida, but Florida really is a beautiful, like, paradise, a utopia. It's a lot different from the United States. Sometimes I wonder if I'm in the United States because it separates, you know, from all that craziness that you normally see here in the United States. But
it is a dream. It's a dream place. I have gone when I'm younger, and I will come back. because
here we go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. When it's run by the right person. But,
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's everywhere, Michael. Come on.
Well, we have a
Michael Gardner on iHeartRadio.
DeSantis is doing good here,
Yeah.
So
I really recommend that anyone who goes to Florida for whatever, if you're, going for Disney, although I certainly don't recommend anybody going to Disney anymore, but maybe like Universal Studios or Orlando, they have that theme park down there now too. I think SeaWorld is closed, although I heard, Michael, wasn't somebody else going to open that up? But I really recommend, if you're going to make a trip to Florida, make sure you plan to get a rental car and drive down to Key West for the day.
Oh, beautiful Key West, yeah.
And you got to be there. The ride back at night is a pain when it is dark as it is, but you got to take one of the sunset cruises out into the ocean, see the sunset out on the water. So beautiful.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you drive in the Keys. I don't know the one side, each side, right? It's a very narrow strip in some sections that if you're not careful, you could drive like literally right in the ocean. I mean, it's that.
In Australia, we drive on the other, on the opposite side of the road. I'm pretty sure. Our steering wheel and everything. Yeah, so I think that I would give that a miss.
You guys are like the Brits. You guys always drive on the wrong side of the road, but it's okay.
Yes, we drive the opposite. So yeah, that would be super weird going overseas and doing that.
So Niesha, are your cars right-hand drives? I mean, am I saying that? So you're in the right hand of your vehicle?
Yes, if I'm driving, correct.
So weird.
Pink Sunshine. You remember that movie back in the day? You're right around my age. You probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know how old Niesha is, but there was there was a movie called National Lampoon's European Vacation.
Oh yeah.
Where Chevy Chase was so accustomed to driving on the right side of the road here in the United States that when he went to Europe, he was crashing into everybody.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. You saying it's a narrow road.
Oh, yeah, and all the Europeans were like, all right, you drive on the right-hand side of the road. But
I would be horrible I'd be horrible in any other country, I think. Like I hear Italy's really bad, not bad driving, but they're aggressive drivers.
The fuck out of the way, asshole!
Some of those other, like India, God almighty, some of those, especially along mountainous areas, the roads are so narrow you could barely fit one vehicle on it at a time, let alone two going different directions.
Yeah, I've seen those TV series where they are like truck drivers getting through India. Yeah. And it's crazy what they go through.
People literally driving off cliffs because the road's too narrow and they're driving too fast.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to thank you for coming on, guys, because we had Joseph. Did you want to tell Pink Sunshine and Niesha about the show we had just recently with the therapy twins? Oh my God, that was a fucking disaster.
What happened?
Yeah. Monday show. Yeah, if you want how a podcast is not supposed to go, you want to listen to Mondays, because we had Brian.
Hello, Brian.
God bless his heart. Bless his little heart, as the saying goes. Right? He's a budding newer comedian, and he's a fairly new podcaster. So he just doesn't quite have either his comedic or his podcast routine down. So it was like just so darn boring with him on. And then the therapy twins, they couldn't get their connection to work. We'd hear one sentence out of their mouth and then they'd vanish.
The Brian guy, man, I mean, he got me upset, Pink Sunshine, because, when I seen on his profile, it read New York City. Mm-hmm. Now, Niesha, I'm not sure if you can pick up some of my demeanor coming off my voice, but I happen to reside originally from New York City. Okay. So when I see New York City, on his profile. I'm getting excited like a little boy seeing an ice cream cake or something. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, New York City. Okay, I can have fun with this guy. We could be buddies on the show. We could talk and everything. And, he can relate to some of my experiences that I experienced in New York, vice versa. And he comes on the show and he's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Like, what? Joe, this guy ain't from fucking New York.
Did you do a TikTok? You just recently did that. Did you not post something on that recently, Michael?
Mackenzie put that out earlier before, and she's like, "We got to put something out like that." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." If he had TikTok, Brian's gonna get, and he's gonna get all wet in the panties, and he's gonna go, "Oh my God, they're making fun of me." No, it's all right. But
don't make fun of me, Michael.
No, we're not going to make fun of you. We love you.
We don't know what we're doing either.
Well, like I told you on the first time you were on the show, Pink, Michael can be mean.
I remember. He's been so nice.
I'm not even Joseph. I'm a former.
I heard that podcast. I heard that warning. I took the risk.
Yeah, Nisha's listened, which is great.
Yeah, I'm a former New Yorker. It comes naturally, whatever. But anyways, and then we had the therapy twins, and what they were good for, 2-3 minutes of a conversation, Joseph.
Yeah, and then they were cut out, so they disconnect, try to come back in another 5 minutes later. Same thing, we'd hear one sentence from them, we try to carry on a conversation. We could see they were connected, but couldn't hear a damn thing from them.
Oh my goodness.
And Niesha, you got to remember these women are well-known comedians here in the United States. They've been all over. They've been to improvs. I don't know if you know what an improv is, right?
No.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, an improv is like, it's like a comedy club, and they're all over the place. You got them in Miami, Tampa, New York City. I mean, I think even PINKSUNSHINE has some improvs up there in Canada, but they're well-known comedians. And I was telling Joseph, I'm like, all right, they're well-known comedians, but these are well-known comedians that don't know what the hell they're doing with modern technology.
Yeah, I went back and listened to the show that Mike did with them the first time, and it was a great show, but yeah, Monday we were in dire straits to get anything to work.
You're pulling at strings. Oh no.
Thankfully, Michael had Mackenzie reach out to Preacher Man, and we closed out the show the last 20 minutes with some good connection.
Pay attention, everybody. Joseph's talking. God damn it.
Oh yeah, he's very intelligent, Joseph. I mean, he's a buddy of mine. He has his own show. He happens to reside in Indian Trail, North Carolina, has his show called Fraser Chronicles, which I'm going to be on October 22nd with him. And he's a very highly intelligent man. We got into a topic that was a little touching, which we seem to have a problem here in the United States with black on black crime, which seems to be an issue. We're trying to fix it, folks, but it's just not going nowhere. But anyway.
Yeah, and it's impossible to fix, though, if people aren't willing to have an honest discussion. I mean, the stats are the stats. Blacks disproportionately commit crimes more per capita of their race than others. And we have to have an honest discussion of what the root cause of that is. And ladies, the bottom line, most of us feel it is, and it's not a black issue. It's an issue of young, poor whites, too, of fatherless homes. They don't have the parental father figure disciplinary structure they need.
Pay attention, everybody. Joseph's talking now. Damn it.
Yeah, it's a lot of lack of communication in all aspects, I believe. I think our world has come too fast that we're trying to keep up, and we're forgetting, not just with the race thing, but with everything. We're forgetting to focus on our core.
PINKSUNSHINE, I can, like you said, you labeled it correct. We've we've come in. Where's my words at today? I'm sorry. We've came to our society. There we go. Bear with me. It's been a very early morning for me. Again, up at 4:00 in the morning Eastern time here. So I think bedtime is coming very quickly here in the next couple hours. But our society, it's like racing really, really quick, with technology and everything else. And I think we need to slow down.
100%.
I wanted to get into this with Niesha because I see that she's a psychic medium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you want to kind of tell some of the listeners here?
Yeah, what I kept thinking when you were saying that is that I found during the pandemic or with COVID and stuff like that, the one thing that I kept thinking is that there's so much divide, like not just worldwide, but there was families that were being divided through what seemed to be fear to me. Like everywhere you looked, there was fear being spread everywhere.
Yep.
And families were breaking up, the world was being divided, and everyone just needs to try and come together. So as you just said, I think the problem was black on black. So that
I love this Rakuten app. Look at that. I open the app, find the store that I want to use, start buying, and gets me tons of cash back. I just got paid to shop.
My favorite thing about Rakuten is just getting money back in the mail.
I mean, who wouldn't want cash back?
Sign up today and get cash back with Rakuten. It doesn't necessarily matter where you're from, what your race is, what your sex is, or any of those things. There's just so much hate everywhere.
Yep.
And that's why what made me go to TikTok, which was just to bring light and share love.
Same as with Pink, exactly. That's the one good thing about TikTok that I will say, other than, the China ties and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Most people on TikTok, it's lighter stuff, although there is a negative side. There's a whole lot of them weird younger generation challenges like the Tide Pod Challenge. Are you guys aware of that? In Australia, where kids were taking the Tide Pods laundry detergent thing and swallowing them. All kinds of weird, dangerous stuff too. So it's good with TikTok, the lighter stuff, but there's the dangerous side to that too. And I can relate to you, Niesha, because I used to be a psychic medium too, but now I'm a psychic large. But I'm pumped.
Psychic large.
Yeah. We got to keep on reminding Joseph, to put the periods and commas in. But it's just a joke, Joseph. I love you, buddy. But anyways.
Well, I had to make sure that the whole joke got out, or it would have been ruined the joke if I hadn't got the whole joke out.
Yeah. He's always telling you, get to the fucking point, Joe. I got to watch my language. I know there's kids in the background. I'm trying my best, but
No one's hearing you on this end.
I can hear
as you said, TikTok is a lot lighter though, because I had been using Facebook as my main platform, and I'd made a group, and quite a few people had joined the group for readings, and because I was doing everything for free, so I was helping people in masses really on Facebook. And during the pandemic, I felt like that it got a lot heavier. A lot of people were just lonely and just needed someone to relate to and to talk to. And that's what turned me over to TikTok, where it is a lot more lighthearted. But when I got there, I realized that there was a lot of bullying, and that sort of shifted my views completely.
Michael and Joseph, Unfiltered.
From wanting to branch out, say my name or my brand as such, to just wanting to make a difference. And if you can just make one person smile, it's so worth it to me.
Oh, yeah, you. It's so true.
Absolutely. I've noticed that too, where some of the content that we put out on the show, for publicity and for promotion and stuff like that to get our show out there, we're putting more on TikTok and more on Rumble, versus Instagram and Facebook, because I've noticed every single time where I post something on Facebook or Instagram, I'm immediately getting that, that American liberal leftist.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I had the same with Facebook and Instagram, and that's why I'm on TikTok.
Yeah, you have problems in Australia. We have problems here in America. I don't know how it is over there in Australia, but we have problems in America with the fact checking. Is that an issue over there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes. So that was the massive thing for me. And same thing, yeah. So many people didn't share my views. I don't have the same views as most people. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, it was refreshing to go over to TikTok where it wasn't as censored. You know, you could see things for what they really were without it, being filtered, I guess you could say.
If there were actual fact checking going on, it would be one thing. The problem is it's fake checking.
Yeah.
It is all
Exactly.
spin and lies and innuendo and accusation to try to use the word you did, bully people into an opinion other than what they hold, to hold the public left-wing wokist line of thought. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, because you mentioned hate. My book is about anti-hate. It's about, love over hate. And all who hate, not just terrorism. And I have a hard time sometimes getting that point across to people because they see the main thing about terrorism, and the real message of love over hate gets lost.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. It does get lost. I've noticed that too. Some of the the people that tune into the show, they I don't know. Maybe it's just something I'm getting, recently. But I see a lot of hate that comes on this show sometimes. From the American liberal, and we get into the rhetoric where why are you spreading so much misinformation and this and that? Like, here's one thing: how can you call it misinformation? Are we living in a society where we're surrounded by geniuses and gods now of people? Like, are people more intelligent and smart? Is there something that that I don't know? Like,
No,
why
I think they're actually opposite.
Orwell's 1984 and Animal Farm, exactly as he predicted. Newspeak. Up is down, left is right, in is out. Everything is opposite world. Yeah, they're peddling propaganda as fact, and facts they claim to be misinformation.
Yeah, and I find that when one thing fails, they have to jump onto the next. Like another story unveils.
Amen. I agree. Yeah, we had a whole show on that. Mike and I had a show about deflection. That's exactly what you're talking about here. When one lie don't work, create the next lie, deflect from the last lie. Anything
yes,
to
and
keep
it's
you
I
from
think that
the
it's
truth.
to keep people in a state of fear. That's what they want. They want people in a state of fear. We can't be our best selves in a state of fear.
Yeah. If we're fearful, then we're not going to move. We're going to stay still, right? There's going to be no change.
Yeah, I can almost say, I mean, just listening to you, Niesha, I mean, some of the people that speak that demeanor here in Florida, you guys are almost like a Florida 2.0. I see, maybe that's just me seeing that, with like Australia being very conservative. Do you see a lot of conservatism in that country?
Sort of. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, because we have a lot of we're in the month of October right now, so we're getting a lot of people coming in from Australia and Great Britain. They love Florida. I don't know what it is about Florida that they love, but the majority of all our tourism comes right to Florida. They don't go to any other state besides Florida. I don't know why it's that. I think it maybe has to do with the conservatism in this state.
Yeah, Niesha, I'm just to confirm, I'm looking at the right Niesha on Instagram. Do you say cherish what you have while you have it?
Yes.
That's you. I'm clicking follow right now.
There you go.
Yeah, and she also lives by another quote too here. You believe that every day is a new beginning.
Absolutely.
Yes. I like that quote. I love that quote because what you destroy now, you can create a better day tomorrow.
Yeah. So basically, a little bit about me is in 2017, I went through a whole heap of trauma. I my ex-partner of 10 years passed away, and I was pregnant with my son. And 6 weeks later, my mum passed away.
What?
And so I had this newborn baby, and I had experienced a lot of loss. But at the same time, the universe was just magical, because I had this baby that showed me, even though there was so much death, I also had so much life. And it literally completely changed my whole views on life almost overnight. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say.
No, you're good, Niesha. Like you have an amazing story.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has a story. I could tell you guys, like, it wasn't always sunshines and rainbows with me. I've came through a lot of, ups and downs, obstacles. I mean, I never really went to the greatest schools in the world, but I learned. It was very rough for me, in my early 20s. I went to college. I got the things I wanted to get. I got my bachelor's, and I got my my business management degree, and I got all these great things under my belt. But there was a huge amount of struggles for me.
Just called off. Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, we got a budding new star there. Well, at least, Michael, you got a real degree. The problem is, of course, since you've mentioned your business degree, the problem is people racking up hundreds of thousands of debt for useless gender studies and other moronic degrees that don't relate to a damn thing in life and ability to get a job. And then they wonder why they're not making $100,000 a year out of college when they got a useless degree.
You know what they want, Joseph? They want the easy way out. That's what you see in today's society, especially with this millennium type of generation. They want, and then they expect it. They're like, what's this thing going on now, right? Where all the fast food joints here in America, they want like $15, $16 an hour to flip a burger. In my generation and prior to my generation, the boomer generation, right? That was minimum wage jobs. I mean, that's what they were designed for. They were designed to get you on the right track, get you back on your feet, and then you move forward. It wasn't designed to be a career. I mean,
That's exactly right. And you said it. They want, but then you said, and then start to gain some skills, which then you could take to another job that demands more money. But they think they deserve $20 an hour to flip a burger, and they're wondering why.
Here's the thing, Joseph. Like when I started out here, right? I didn't start out on the radio. I mean, I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. But when I started out as a wire man behind the scenes, flipping the wires, getting everything together on the set, making sure that the radio was working, obviously, right? Making sure that the mics were working. Everything was correct for that DJ or host or radio personality of whatever person was supposed to be on the radio at the time. That was my job. I wasn't making the greatest amount of money back then, but I wasn't bitching of what you see now, in society where, I'm doing all this. I need this amount of money and this and this and that. Well, if you need all that money, get the hell out of those minimum wage jobs and go work for a really well-endowed company. Go work for like maybe Amazon or go work for Walmart. Those companies like that, they're paying tremendous right now in this country. They need workers. You want to make good money? That's where you go. Go for the companies that you can create a life for yourself and stop relying on stuff that you're not going to get anywhere in life,
They can't make change. I know a girl named Tori at my local B&W. She's not there now, though, but she literally had to carry a solar-powered calculator around with her to make simple, basic change.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Have you guys seen the movie Idiocracy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's where we are. We're failing so many ways. Our education system is in Canada. I don't know about in Australia or the States, but I'm not happy with our education system, especially since what happened with COVID.
No,
And
definitely not. I'm with you on that one. Girl.
Yeah, and everything's inflated. So we're not able to have a one house income anymore where the husband or wife, whichever you prefer, I don't judge, goes out and makes the money. And then there is either the husband or wife that's home. Usually back then, it was the wife that stayed home and took care of the kids and had that stability in our home. We can't do that anymore. And if we can, we're very
Unfiltered.
to have that. So the children don't have us there to help them and guide them.
Hey, Pink Sunshine, you know, inflation's getting so bad, you know, it actually takes 2 Karens now to talk to the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great meme, but you're right. And I discussed, that's one of the sub-themes, the economics of the family and family values, like you laid out, having the value to value your children enough to want to have one parent stay home and raise them full time. But you're right. I addressed that in my book, but you're right. Today, economics are such where that's almost impossible. And now both parents almost, because of Bidenflation here in the U.S., both parents have to have 2 jobs.
We're failing our children by that. It's like if the children don't have us to, and then on top of us working and trying to make that money and the fast way of life and the consumption that we so happen to think we need because it's right there in our faces all the time. We don't need it, but we get lost in that and we forget about, again, going back to the core values.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I was talking the other day on Soslin's podcast. You know, he joins us on Tuesdays and Thursdays on the show. And Sos, he's a young man. He's just turned 24 years old. And
not to him, he thinks he's old.
Yeah, he thinks he's an old man. Yeah. I'm like, Sos, you're making me and Pink Sunshine feel old. I'm in my 40s. I don't look it. If you've seen some of the graphics on the show that, you know, some of my face is on the graphics, I don't look 40. I look like I'm 25 or 30. I just take care of myself.
You're all wet behind the ears in my terms. I just turned 60 this year, and I every bit look it.
Before Joseph rudely interrupted me, but it's all right, Joseph. Anyway, Soslin said the other day on his show, he was like, you know, I don't get this. Like, why are people this way? And I'm like, Sos, you got to remember, or you should know by now at least, because, you know, Soslin originally in Russia, you know, he resided in Russia before he came here to the States. And that's another story. I don't want to tie too much into today's episode, but Sos was like, you know, why is it this? Why is it this way here in America? I'm like, well, you know, it became this because of the society that was given to us. We allowed technology to overturn everything. We rely on technology more, like Joseph mentioned with the kiosk, right? Everybody needs kiosks now, right? They can't make simple change. Back in my day, if you didn't make simple change, you were fired. You know, you didn't have all these extra technology and extra devices and everything. So,
well, they have Google now in school, even just Google, so they can go. They don't even have to know the lessons anymore.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about Sos. Sos is young, but he's kind of an old soul.
I don't know. I give Sos a lot of credit because he's traveling the U.S. right now, going to all these different types of conferences, Republican conferences. I think he just came out of the state of Texas. He was heading towards Indiana for a some kind of other conference. I told him, I said, Sos, what are you driving all over the place? Well, he can. You know, he's medically discharged from the Army, so he gets a I guess what do you call that, Joseph? A pension, right? You get it when you discharge from the Army, you get it like they give you like if you were in the Army for like 20 years, right?
Right. A pension, I guess, is the best word for it. Generally, you sign up, you get depending on how long you serve, then you've got a certain degree of a pension. Usually not enough to sustain anyone, but as an added bonus for serving, we want to make sure
they discharged him. Yeah, they discharged him like 2 years ago, where he gotten injured in the Army. So he only served until he was like 22. But he was explaining to me that, you know, the pension that they give him, it was like a pension as if he was, you know, in there for like 20 years or something.
Well, that would be
probably the injury.
Yeah, if you're injured, that's a whole other thing. Then you're getting a disability severance, right? So you're getting a disability income like I've been on since 2004. I'm on Social Security disability due to health issues and that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, Joseph, remind me not to do 3 shows in one day. I think that's what's making me tired right now. This is like the 3rd show I've done. I had to do 2 others prior to this because they're pre-recorded. One's gonna be dropping this Saturday. Radio personality from St. Louis. It's been in the radio for 20 years. This show called Static Radio. Literally, I mean, the amount of evolution that he's seen just in this show. I'm like, wait a minute, buddy. You went from terrestrial radio before podcasting was podcasting, where if you missed the radio show on the radio, that was it. You couldn't, you know, there was no taping back then. There was not, you know fucking your shit out of luck. But from terrestrial radio to podcasting and the evolution in the show, we got into that like, oh man, I just had a really good time with him on that. I'm like, wow. That's awesome. So, and then I did that. Yeah, hold that thought, Joseph. And then I did that. And then I did another one with this woman. Oh God, bless her soul. She was whacked out. Oh boy.
Oh gosh.
She was fucking nuts. She really was. I told her, I said, are you okay? And she kept yelling me on the show, and I was like, what are you yelling for? And she's like, they're coming. I'm like,
oh no,
coming. I'm like, who's coming? I thought she was getting excited on the show or something. You know, I've had a strong wit on women like that in the past, you know, but I was like, I'm sorry, you need like, you know, maybe 10 minutes or something. You can come back on, you know. She's like, oh no, it's not like that. I was like, oh, okay, well. Then,
when is this airing? Because I want to listen.
Yeah, hold on. And then Mackenzie in the background, she's listening to it, and she's like, I can hear the body language coming off of her voice, and she didn't say like, just like,
oh my God.
And then we were like, okay. Now I'm thinking she's getting normal now because like she's getting into that route. And then she's like, they're coming. I'm like, who is they? And she's like, there's aliens coming to this world and they're going to suck us up. I said, suck us up. And the ships? And she's like, and these big ships that they're going to use for experiments. I was like, when they come, let me know, because there's a few people here in the United States that I wouldn't mind suck them up, you know? But
yeah, well, Michael,
she might not be losing it. You never know. They could come. You never know.
Yeah, Michael, I want to say you're doing something wrong, though. You're not supposed to admit to other shows. You're supposed to make your female guests feel like they're the only ones that matter. They're the only show.
No, Joseph, I'm doing everything right. You're doing. I get
like trying to juggle 3 girlfriends. All 3 have to think they're the only one.
Don't be juggling 3 girlfriends, Michael or Joseph.
Yeah, I know where you're getting at, Joseph. You're getting back at me from Monday's show, you son of a bitch. You. No, but anyway, I'm getting a little Joe Pesci on you because you. Do I make you funny, Joseph? Do I amuse you? How do I make you laugh? How am I fucking funny, huh? No, tell me, Joseph, how am I funny? You know, now remember that the Goodfellas. I don't know if Niesha knows what I'm talking. But Niesha,
I'm 35. I'm not that young.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're 5 years older than me. Okay.
Yeah, see, yeah.
35's young.
We're talking about the Goodfellas movie. That was a damn good movie, by the way. But anyway,
it was.
Yes. There was a lot of slaughter in that movie and killing and everything, but that's what the gangsters did in New York. You know, if they didn't like you, they shoot you. hit you with a staple gun or throw you in the damn river in the Hudson Bay. I mean, that's what they did.
Savaged Unfiltered.
That one scene they showed them going down to Florida and the Tampa Zoo and feeding them to the lions. But I mean, that was a little crazy. But
This is awesome.
I mean, I don't know guys. I just want to say that the show that I had with this woman, it was rather interesting. She was getting into like really like crazy shit, off the wall shit. But this is going back to this gentleman that I was talking. Oh God. Remember that show I had, Joseph, with the guy that got into the crazy like out of this world type of shit?
I'm not sure what one you're referring to, but yes, to this woman, is she talking about the Greys, the lizard people, the ant people?
Yeah. She told me that she's going to be okay because she resides a little east of Anchorage, Alaska. I said, I guess the aliens, they don't like cold weather, huh? Maybe that's what it does.
Maybe she knows something.
Maybe, I don't know.
You never
Maybe
know.
the cold weather gets to them. It makes them go crazy. I don't know.
I have been down that rabbit hole of like Greys, not very much, but like I have heard of like the reptilians and all that kind of stuff too. So maybe she's a part of it. I don't know.
That's the inverse of the movie Signs. Do you remember the old? It was with Mel Gibson. Signs.
Definitely,
it was the first
I
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
It's overrated.
Swing the bat. Swing the bat.
Yes, exactly.
Oh God, that was like a spin-off of Jack Nicholson from The Shining. Drop the bat, Wendy. But I don't know. It's coming up to that hour here, ladies. Thank you for tuning in. I hope I wasn't too much of a bore, Niesha. Thank you for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I do want to let you know I do get a little savaged on the show, hence the show Savaged.
It's okay. I was willing to risk it.
Thank you for your risking. I had a compliment come in from wrestling personality from the woman there from Australia. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
You're from Australia. You don't know her name is Rhea Ripley?
Yes. Okay, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She reached out on Instagram, and she's this was like a couple weeks ago, and she says I can't do the Australian accent because it would sound like I'm from like Great Britain or something. She was like, it's a great show you're doing there, you know.
It's funny because that's something that me and Pink Sunshine had in common. That I was like, oh my God, I used to love wrestling as well. Like when they used to come to Australia, the WWE, I used to go and watch it live here as well. But when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, for some strange reason, I've been running into her quite recently because they, most of them live here in Florida. Most of them either live in Tampa or Orlando or something. Back in the day, they were all from fucking Canada. I guess no one likes living in Canada anymore. No, sorry, Pink Sunshine. But,
I'll move to. You need to go find Natty. That would be fun too to like chat with her. She's Natty Hart.
Yeah, Natalia. Yeah. But it seems like I run into her quite recently. Like I've run into her like probably twice now in the last month, and she likes going into this gas station / coffee shop. It's called Wawa. We have Wawas down here, and I ran into her recently, and I was like, "Holy shit, you're that Australian chick!" And she's like, "Is that how you go up to everybody? You just say, 'Hey, you're that Australian chick?'" I'm like, "Well, you are Australian, right?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm Australian, but I don't live in Australia anymore." I was like, "Oh, well, you still have the accent. Like you just moved here last week or something."
I love the accent. I can listen to Niesha. Like we send voices back and forth because we never talked on the phone, but I'll listen to her voice forever.
Yeah, I have people from America messaging me often saying like, Niesha, can you say this? And I'll be like, oh my God, this is so weird, but here we go.
I had a British woman not too long ago on the show by the name of Amy Sinha. So thank you, Amy, if you're listening to the show. She was on the show from Wales, and she was like, I love American accents. I was like, oh, okay.
We don't have any. I don't feel
Exactly,
like Canada or
Michael.
Americans are like that.
Yeah, I immediately thought of her too when we started talking about accents because she does voiceover work. So she kind of can do some various accents and was joking about if she could do an American male accent to do my audio go for me. But she said that might be a little bit too much of a stretch.
Yeah, she kind of shot you down the toilet on that one, Joseph. Yeah. Joseph was looking all high and mites on that one. I'm like, Joseph, she's a woman. How the hell can she do an American male accent?
I feel like she was on before me on my show, wasn't she? I remember there was a British woman on before.
Yeah, yeah. You see
yeah. She
Yeah.
was the first half, and you were the second half of that.
I remember
show,
her.
I think.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think she was just getting off when I came on.
Yeah, she does a lot of work with Lego, and it's been a couple of other American projects that she worked on. I thought she did Disney, but I guess I was looking at it incorrectly. She's like, I never did Disney. I'd love to do Disney, but I never done Disney.
Yeah. Nowadays, avoid Disney.
Yeah, Niesha. I don't know about Niesha. I grew up loving Disney. I was like the biggest like princess. I wasn't a princess. I wanted to be that princess and the fairy tale and all that stuff. And then really when I went, COVID hit again, and I went down all these rabbit holes, and I learned a lot about it. It's very and I've even seen things prior to what they put in their movies and stuff, and how they had to switch them, the subliminal messages. It's quite disturbing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had it back then, with different types of movies. We just didn't realize it. You look at like what was it, Snow White. There was so much like hidden crap in that movie that we just didn't realize until now.
Peter Pan is a huge one that hit me, but I don't want to go too in depth with that one today.
Now nothing is hidden; it's all blatant woke garbage in your face.
Yep.
Yeah, but look at the Wizard of Oz. Remember the Wizard of Oz? There's an actual munchkin being hung in the background. You got to look at it, like right where they're going through like the wood scene.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I hope Niesha's kitties aren't around to hear that. If they are,
it's funny when we're little, we don't see we don't pay attention to those things, but our subconscious mind does.
Yeah, your subconscious stores it all. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's where all of us are messed up. I think not just Disney, but our media, everything that's thrown in our face is really warping our mind.
Oh, thank you, Mackenzie, for reminding me. Hold that thought, ladies. I have to get this in because I'm on iHeartRadio, and if I don't plug this in, they get mad at me. So, guys, if you listen to iHeart, which I think we all do now, right? Mm-hmm. iHeart is pretty much the go-to platform in the United States, and I think around the world for that matter. Yeah. Tune in. They're almost done with it. The music festival, I think they're releasing that off the platform tomorrow. So you have until like tomorrow around like 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. After that, it gets taken off the platform. And then also too, for the month of October, for all people that celebrate Halloween, right? I do. I just don't do it as much. When I was a kid, I celebrated a lot, but not as much. For the month of October, they have this channel that they added onto that. And it is called the Halloween Music Channel. Or no, Halloween. Mackenzie, you gave me the wrong shit. Halloween Radio.
I want to go on. I'm going to start singing their songs. I want to do some Halloween songs for this month.
Yeah. Check out Halloween Radio. It's a really good channel. It's fun, spooky, great. It's great for the kids too. It's none of that, crazy shit that you see on the radio now. They actually have classic Halloween songs that they had when we were kids.
Oh, Niesha, we're going to do a duet. We'll get Why Not in there too.
Yes.
And then also two more announcements, and then I'll let you guys go. I know I'm probably boring you right now with these announcements, but I can get them out there. They're important. They're important shit. It's kind of good stuff here. October 22nd, I'm going to mention again, guys. Tune in on Spotify, Apple. He's only on Spotify, Apple. I'm trying to get him on iHeart. I don't know. He doesn't want to go on iHeart for some strange reason. I think he's scared of it. Fraser Chronicles, going to be on that show, October 22nd. It's going to be a good one. He's known as the Preacher Man. We're going to get into some good stuff. I'm going to try to have him say a cuss word. I know he doesn't want to say cusses because he's more of like a Christian base. He doesn't believe in saying cusses. I actually had Sauce the other day say shit. It surprised the hell out of me. Yeah, it was a big one for Sauce. Because he got
I'm along
You're
their
going to
lines.
spend the
too.
whole Fraser Chronicle show trying to bait him, huh?
Yeah, probably. But it was a big one for Sauce because, like, he actually paused before he says, I'm going to get unfiltered, Mike. I was like, go ahead, man. I'm waiting to hear, like, the word, like, bitch or shit or fuck. And I'm like, he said shit. He's like, this is shit. I'm like, wow.
Yes, Sauce.
It's like when you have your first beer and you're like you think you're like head notch of it, you're like, yeah, man, I just got drunk and slobbered and I'm hammered off of one. Are you kidding me?
You can have another.
Oh, God. I can't drink as I used to. God, maybe 3 or 4 and I'm done. But that's what happens when you get old. You can't hang with the little boys anymore or the big boys or however they say it.
I feel ya.
But I got to get off here.
I was so hungover that my partner was saying, do you want me to call an ambulance? And I was like, please do not call an ambulance for me over a hangover. My goodness. That would be the worst.
Let me say this real quick, and then I got to get off because, it's getting to that point right now with me. And Mackenzie's shaking her head, and she's like, Mike, we got to fucking edit this shit. Yeah. Anyway. But when I was in my early 20s, relating to Niesha here, I used to be a hot mess. I'm talking about a huge hot mess where they literally had to like pick me off the beach. And remind you, I mean, before I came down to beautiful Florida, my partying areas were the Lower East Side, the Village of New York, Staten Island, Jones Beach in Long Island, the Jersey Shore before it was, the whole, snooky, stupid shit. And, downtown Boston. I used to, oh man. Oh God. They would be like, Mike, come on. It's party time is over. What time is it? It's 7:00 in the morning. The cops are going to get here and we're going to get arrested. You can't sleep on the beach. Oh shit. Yeah, I think
Niesha and I were there with you. I think I'll say for myself, I had some good times.
Oh God, I used to wake up in hotel rooms with women. I don't even remember who the hell they were.
I can't go that far. Sorry.
Me too.
I'm getting a little dark, but anyway. Niesha Jade, thank you for tuning in. Hope I didn't scare you off, but obviously, some of the listeners here listening to you, where can they find you at on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok, so it's Niesha Jade Psychic Medium.
Okay.
And I'm also on Facebook, which is Spirit Readings with Niesha Jade.
Oh, okay. Well, we can just kind of excuse the fake book, but we'll go with the TikTok. But anyway. And then Pink Sunshine, we know where we can find you. It's Pink Sunshine on TikTok. Follow, hit that like button, hit that follow button. And they're going to come out with some duets, right? You guys mentioned some duets.
We got lots coming out. We're doing a live next week. So you can come chat with us if you want. We'll be like on video and everything. We're very nervous and excited.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Niesha, next time we have to have you bring out tarot cards so you could do a reading for Michael.
Okay, yeah.
I would love that. Can I come back on too?
Yeah. You want to come back on? You can come back on. How about we do this? Okay. I'll let you know who I'm going to have on. So that way you don't go like, oh my God, these people are nuts, because Pink Sunshine and Niesha, Joseph can vouch for me. Sometimes people that we have on are okay. And some of them are like, Michael, what the fuck were you thinking of?
Well, we like all walks of life, so
yeah,
we're good. But I get what you're saying. I would have liked to have been on with the one girl and people coming.
As they say, variety is the spice of life, and there's quite a bit of variety on Michael's show.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, guys, take it easy. I'm out of here.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.